So I'm going to be recording 2 videos today. The word potential. People use potential all the time, and they feel as if they say potential, it's the equivalent of actually doing something. So if I'm actually dropping my book and I'm actually editing my book and I'm actually proofreading my book and I'm actually getting it formatted, that's doing something. Versus I have the potential to do something, other people feel like they're in the same lane. And I just want to break down what potential is and how that works, and what action really is and how that works. So I'm going to be using the example of Love Jones. That's my favorite movie, and I feel like it adequately describes what I'm talking about. Larenz Tate's character in Love Jones, his name is Darius Lovehall, and Nia Long's character, her name is Nina Mosley. And Larenz Tate's character, he is an aspiring author like me, and I think he's self-publishing. And Nia Long, she's a photographer. She wants to break into photography. And they're both doing their own thing, but they end up meeting each other at this jazz club / poetry slam. And you watch the movie, you'll get what I'm talking about. But for those who seen the movie, you'll get it. So potential is what you make of it. Potential is just that. You know, it's not necessarily a guarantee win, but it's not a guarantee loss either. It is what you make of it. It's the possibility of something going good or going sour. And even for those who are into science, like, potential energy is the energy that could move or could get into motion. Potential energy is the energy that moves. Kinetic energy is the energy that's actually in motion. And it's the same thing with potential when people are talking. Personally, I feel like I need to make this video because I really can't deal when people say, oh, I have potential, or he or she has potential, or it has potential. And in most people's minds, especially women, when they say potential, they think potential is like, oh, they just need that start. They just need that ignition. They just need that spark. And I'm like, what if there's several sparks and they still don't do it? Then what? And a lot of people don't think that potential also means that they might not do it. And in a lot of cases, they don't do it. So now you're stuck in potential for 8 years, but you're still hoping that it's just one more thing, just one more experience, just one more spark, and then it'll get the ball rolling. And I'm like, no. What really matters is what you're doing or what you're not doing. What is and what isn't. Potential is a nice way to be in between, but eventually people are going to want receipts. Eventually people are going to want dedication and going to want to see. When you sit on potential, especially if you've been doing it for days, weeks, months, and years, no one takes you seriously. Like I said, the reason why I can't deal with potential is because, like I said, with the Love Jones example, Darius, an aspiring writer like me, he was actually writing. While he was dating Nina and figuring out his all emotional issues and his whatever, commitment, fear, whatever, he was actually writing. He was actually dedicating time. He actually put aside time and got a typewriter and was actually doing it. And Nina, though she wasn't into written words and spoken words, she was doing the photography thing, and you could see that she went on job interviews. You could see that this was what she was passionate about. I mean, yeah, they collided and they ended up dating or whatever, but that was their goal. That's what they wanted to achieve. And with me, it's the same thing. Would it matter if I had the thoughts in my head, if I had the stories in my head, and then I didn't actually write it, and I didn't actually edit it, and I didn't actually get it formatted? People would just be like, oh, cool story, and then moved on. And you see, it's a difference how people approach you and how people deal with you when it comes to you actually doing something versus you saying you want to do something. When you want to do something, people may or may not give you the time of day. But when you're actually doing something, people actually take time to give you advice, take time to congratulate you, take time to want to hear what you have to say because you're actually doing it, versus potential. Because like I said, potential is just saying that I have the idea to do something, but that's pretty much it. It does not mean that I actually have the motivation to complete it. It doesn't mean that I have the ability to complete it. It doesn't mean that I have the focus to complete it, the dedication, the blood, sweat, and tears. I just have the idea. And to be honest, so can somebody else. So can somebody else complete the idea, and then you'll just be the person who said, well, I had it first. No one cares about who had it first. It only matters who did it first. And Memoirs of a Forgotten Child will be released February 14, 2016. That's my date. I figured it out. I really wanted to hit it in Valentine's because I feel like Valentine's is a day where everybody want to get mushy and fake act like they care about each other. So while you faking caring about each other and acting like, you know, your relationship is going to last forever, you could actually get this book that's going to teach you about self-love, and you can love yourself forever and stop trying to look for love within people. So yeah, and I will be dropping that on ebook, so look out for more information. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with Wix, so look out for the updates on that. I mean, yesterday I was working on my website and putting things together. I was so not techie. I went the long handwritten way, so to speak, where I got like 4 different other softwares who basically do the same thing, and I was working with their sites to see what was more feasible. I'm so not techie, and long story short, Wix made it more simpler for me, and everything else I just didn't have the time or the patience to try to learn it to see if it worked for me. Wix made it easy, so I just went with Wix. And every day I put snippets about my book, like little clippets of paragraph here about my book on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me to get the daily snippets, you can, and I'll put that information in this video. Back to potential. Like Darius, us being both writers and authors, Darius had respect because he was actually doing it. Like, his friends respected him, his friends encouraged him. People kind of approached him differently because he had this idea for a while now, and he was actually putting that into motion. That's the thing about potential. We all have potential. We have infinite potential, but it doesn't matter if you don't tap into that. A lot of people said, I wish I could have done this, or I wanted to do that, but I didn't. And no one can stop you from doing what you want to do but you. I mean, yeah, we have careers, and some of y'all got kids. I don't have kids. You know, y'all have other things going on, but you can always make time if you want to. You know? You can. If you can make time for other shiftless, mindless things, then you can make time for your goals. You can make time for your aspirations. You can make time for your future if you choose to. But there's sacrifices in that. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to sacrifice. They want to sit on potential. And for me, potential is not good enough. And for a lot of other people, especially when you get older, you're tired of potential, and you get tired of hearing the same old story. So you're just like, okay. Oh, well, I couldn't. Okay. Well, okay. So you doing it now? No. Okay. And then you just move on. Like, ain't nobody got time to hear about your potential, because we all have potential to do things. It's just that a lot of us aren't doing it, but you want to do it, but you can do it, but you choose not to do it. And no one's going to sit there and babysit your fantasies, to be honest, or pat you on the back for an idea that you have but you won't complete. And the tricky thing about potential, you can put all your energy into it, you can put all your time, your blood, sweat, and tears, and it still doesn't manifest into the way you wanted it to. That's the tragic thing about potential. You could really dedicate, you could really go hard, you could really push, and still it's a bust. But the great thing about it too is that it could fail in one aspect but lead you to the next aspect that is going to be the right thing for you. You might go into trying to be a rapper, so to speak, because I guess when you're young and you're black and you're a male particularly, that's just like the go-to career field. But okay, you want to be a rapper, you try to do the rapper thing, you really got skills, you can really spit, and it doesn't work for you. But because you're so good at producing, now you're making jingles, now you're making sounds and whatnot, and people are actually borrowing and leasing and buying that off of you. Now, you know, maybe no one hears you spit, but now you're making really good money off of producing. You see, sometimes life has this way of knocking you down to build you up to be something better. And it's the same thing with me and my book. I could really go hard with this book. I could really market it. I could really push it, and people might be like, okay. It could be really good, really well edited. The language could be on point. The stories and the details could be everything. People could be like, okay. It's up to you. Marketing is up to me. Everything was up to me. Website, editing, everything was up to me. But if I didn't have the motivation to put it out there, it really wouldn't matter. And I can still have the motivation to put it out there. This is a plug. for my book. And still people could be like, okay. I can say everything about it, okay. I can put out snippets, people can be like, okay. It just is. That's just how life works. So if I sell one book or a million books, that's ultimately up to me and how I position myself. And that's just life in general. Like, what you really want, you gotta go for it. And it doesn't matter if you have the idea. It doesn't matter if you talk about it. It doesn't matter if everybody on the block knows that this is what you want to do. It only matters if you actually do it. So that is my wrap up about potential. I hope y'all really get what I was trying to say, especially using physics. And I hope I used the right terminology in physics. I was never good in science. But hopefully I said everything that was right. And Love Jones example, if you've never seen that movie, you should really go see it, because it's really good and you can actually see it on YouTube. Or, you know, just buy it the legit way. I hope you guys get what I was trying to say and it helps you out. It doesn't have to necessarily be in career field. It can be in relationships. Like, don't be sitting around for a person talking about he could potentially change and she could potentially change. You just got to give him a chance, her a chance. You know, we're working things out. Don't play therapist. Even therapists need a break from their job. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're just gonna stress yourself out. Give them time to figure themselves out, and then when they figure themselves out, y'all could try again, or you could just start fresh with a new person who already just had it together. That's the thing about potential. You know, it doesn't really matter unless you do it. Like Nike, just do it. So hopefully you got the gist of this video. Hopefully it helps some of y'all out. What are you? Are you a procrastinator? Because procrastinators love to say potential. Are you a go-getter? Do you use potential often? Do you wish that you could do certain things but you don't do them because of whatever? What do you want to do? Let me know below in the comments. And that's the end of my video. Comment, rate, subscribe, share. Be blessed.